He signed a letter, just one letter. His name was on it. And that single signature helped change the world forever. But here is the saddest part. He spent the rest of his life wishing he could take it back. This man was one of the smartest people who ever lived. A true genius. The kind of mind that comes once in 1,000 years. He could see secrets in the universe that no one else could see. But he could not escape the fear and the guilt inside his own heart. How can the smartest mind in the world be trapped by regret? Stay with me. Because by the end of this story, you will see how a quiet, lonely boy became the most famous scientist on Earth. You will see how his greatest idea became connected to humanity's most terrible weapon. And you will hear the words he whispered at the end of his life, full of pain. But first, you need to understand how it all began. This is the story of Albert Einstein. Let's go back in time, to Germany in the 1870s. A boy is born in a small town. His name is Albert Einstein. And from the very beginning, he is different. He is quiet. He speaks late, much later than other children. He is so slow to talk that his parents are worried. They even think something might be wrong with them. But inside this quiet boy, something special is growing. When he is a child, his father shows him a simple compass, a small object with a needle inside. And the needle always points the same way, moved by an invisible force. Most children would forget it in a minute, but not Albert. He stares at it. He cannot stop thinking about it. What is this hidden force? Why does it work? What other invisible rules control the world? And here is the thing that makes Albert different from everyone else. He never stops asking that question. Why? While other children accept the world as it is, Albert always wonders why. Why does light move? Why does time pass? What holds the stars in the sky? Most people stop asking these questions when they are young. Albert never stops. And that single habit will make him immortal, but it also makes his life very hard. Because in school, the teachers do not want questions. They want students to obey, to memorize, to repeat, and Albert cannot do this. He challenges his teachers. He reads books no one assigned. He argues when he thinks they are wrong. Most teachers do not like him. They think he is difficult. They think he is a lazy dreamer who will never focus on anything real. One teacher even tells him, to his face, that he will never amount to anything. And here is a question that will follow Albert for years, like a shadow. What if they are right? What if he is just a strange boy with useless ideas? What if he never becomes anything at all? Because deep inside, Albert is afraid, not of teachers, not of school. He is afraid of being ordinary. He is afraid of wasting the strange gift he feels inside him. One voice in his head says, "You see the world in a way no one else can. You are meant for something great." But another voice answers, "Or maybe you are just a fool who thinks too much." These two voices fight inside him, and this quiet war will last his whole life. So Albert makes a choice. He decides to trust his curiosity. He leaves the strict school in Germany that he hates, and he goes to study in Switzerland, where minds are more free. And there, something important happens. He meets a young woman named Mileva. She is brilliant. She is the only woman in his physics class. And for the first time, Albert is not alone. Here is someone who thinks like him, who dreams like him. They fall in love. They talk for hours about science, about the universe, about the future. Remember her, because she will be part of both the best and the saddest parts of his life. Albert reads everything: physics, mathematics, philosophy. While other young people go to parties, he sits alone with his books, learning the language of the universe. And slowly, he understands something that changes everything. He is not crazy. He is not a fool. The questions that confuse him are the same questions that confuse the greatest scientists in the world. He is not behind everyone else. He is ahead of his time. But here comes a problem he did not expect. When he finishes his studies, no university wants him. He is too independent, too strange. He sends letter after letter, asking for a job in science. And he is rejected again and again. The young genius cannot even get hired, so he takes a small, boring job. He becomes a clerk in a patent office in Switzerland. All day he checks other people's inventions. It is a job that no one respects. By now, Albert is married to Mileva, and they have a child. He is a poor office worker with a family to feed. From the outside, his life looks completely ordinary. It looks like his teachers were right. But watch closely, because the most extraordinary thing is about to happen in the most ordinary place. In that quiet little office with no one watching, Albert's mind is free. Between his tasks, he thinks. He dreams. He solves the problems that have confused humanity for hundreds of years. And then comes the year that changes science forever. 1905. Albert is only 26 years old. He is poor. He is unknown. He is just a clerk. But in this single year, he publishes 4 scientific papers. Not 1, not 2, 4. And each one is a masterpiece. Each one changes how we understand reality itself. Scientists call it his miracle year. One man in his spare time, sitting at a small desk, rewrites the rules of the universe. And in one of those papers, there is a tiny equation, just a few symbols. E equals mc squared. It means that energy and mass are the same thing, that even a tiny piece of matter holds a huge, hidden amount of energy. To Albert, this is pure beauty, a secret of the universe, finally revealed. But remember this equation, because 40 years later, it will be connected to a weapon that kills 100,000 people in a single second. In this moment, Albert has no idea. To him, it is only knowledge, only wonder, only truth. Now here is something strange. Albert has just rewritten science. But the world does not notice. Not yet. He is still a clerk, still poor, still unknown. For years, only a few scientists understand what he has done. His big ideas sit quietly, waiting for the world to catch up. And during these years, his personal life begins to break. The marriage with Mileva, once full of love and science, grows cold. Albert becomes distant, difficult. He spends all his time on his work and little on his family. The love that once felt like magic slowly turns into silence. Keep that in your mind, because it ends in a way that will surprise you. Then comes the moment that changes everything. The moment Albert becomes a legend. In 1915, Albert finishes his greatest work, a new theory about gravity, space, and time. He says something shocking. He says that light itself can be bent, that a heavy object, like the sun, can actually bend the path of light around it. It sounds impossible. It sounds crazy. How could anyone ever prove such a thing? There is only one way. You would have to look at stars near the sun and measure if their light is bent. But you cannot see stars near the sun. The sun is too bright. Unless something blocks the sun. Unless there is a total eclipse. So the world waits. And in 1919, during a total solar eclipse, scientists point their cameras at the sky. They measure the light of the stars near the darkened sun. and they hold their breath. Albert is right. The light is bent, exactly as he said. And in that moment, everything changes. Newspapers around the world print his name in giant letters. Revolution in science. Newton's ideas overthrown. Overnight, the poor clerk, the strange boy who would never amount to anything, becomes the most famous scientist on the entire planet. People who know nothing about physics know his face, his wild hair, his name. Albert Einstein is no longer a man. He is a legend. And for a moment, the fear is gone. He has proven every doubter wrong. That same year, his marriage with Mileva finally ends. They divorce. But Albert does something that people still talk about today. He makes a promise. He tells Mileva that if he ever wins the Nobel Prize, he will give her all the money, every coin. And 2 years later, in 1921, he does win the Nobel Prize, and he keeps his word. He gives the entire prize to Mileva and their children. Even when love ends, he does not forget what she gave him. Now Albert is rich, famous, and respected everywhere. He travels the world. Crowds follow him like he is a movie star. It seems like nothing can ever touch him again. But the darkest chapter of his life is about to begin. Because fame has a price. Now everyone knows who Albert Einstein is. And in 1933, when Adolf Hitler comes to power in Germany, that fame becomes deadly. Because Albert is Jewish. Suddenly, all the old fear returns, stronger than ever. His books are thrown into fires in public squares. His science is called Jewish science and banned from schools. His name is erased from German textbooks. And worst of all, there are people who would kill him if he stayed. There is even a price on his head. Think about that. The most famous scientist in the world, the pride of Germany, is now hunted in his own country. The man who spent his whole life searching for the secrets of the universe must now run for his life. He leaves Germany and never returns. He finds safety in America, at Princeton University. He is safe. But he is also a refugee, a man without a country. And from far away, he watches his homeland fall deeper and deeper into darkness. Then, in 1939, everything changes. And this is the moment that will haunt Albert until the day he dies. Other scientists come to him with frightening news. They tell him that German scientists have discovered something called nuclear fission. They have learned how to split the atom. And when you split the atom, it releases enormous energy. The same hidden energy from his beautiful equation, E equals mac squared. And they tell him what this could mean. A bomb. A single bomb powerful enough to destroy an entire city in one moment. And the Nazis, the same people who burned his books and want him dead, might be building it right now. A scientist named Leo Szilárd comes to him with an idea. He has written a letter to the American president, Franklin Roosevelt. The letter warns that the Nazis might build an atomic bomb and that America must start its own research first, before it is too late. But there is a problem. Szilárd is not famous. No president would listen to him. He needs a name that the whole world respects. He needs Albert Einstein, and now Albert faces the hardest choice of his life. He is a man of peace. His whole life, he has spoken against war. He believes science should heal the world, not burn it. To sign this letter goes against everything he believes, but he imagines a world where Hitler has this weapon and no one else does. A world where the Nazis can erase any city they choose. And that fear is stronger than all his beliefs. So, on August 2nd, 1939, Albert Einstein signs the letter. He helps write it. His famous name gives it power. That one signature changes the history of the world. The letter works. The president listens. And it helps to begin the largest scientific project the world has ever seen. It is called the Manhattan Project. Thousands of scientists. Secret cities hidden in the desert. One single goal: build the atomic bomb before the enemy does. But here is the truth that most people do not know. Albert Einstein never works on the bomb. Not for a single day. He is never even allowed inside the project, because the government does not fully trust a man who loves peace so much. So the man whose letter helped start it all can only watch from a distance and wait and worry. And in July 1945, in a desert in New Mexico, they test the first atomic bomb. The scientists see a light brighter than 1,000 suns, and many of them feel pure terror at what human hands have made. Then comes the moment Albert feared most. In August 1945, America drops an atomic bomb on a city called Hiroshima. In a single flash of light, more than 100,000 people are gone. Mothers, fathers, children. 3 days later, a second bomb falls on Nagasaki. More death. More families erased from the earth. When Albert hears the news, something inside him breaks forever. He had hoped the bomb would never be used. He was wrong, so tragically wrong. Later, he says a few quiet words that hold all of his pain. He says, "If I had known that the Germans would not succeed in building the bomb, I would have never lifted a finger." For the rest of his life, Albert fights to undo what he helped begin. He speaks for peace. He warns the world about nuclear weapons again and again. But the world does not listen. Other countries build their own bombs. Thousands of them. Enough to destroy the entire planet many times over. But even in these dark years, the world never stops loving him. When the first president of Israel dies, the nation offers the job to Albert Einstein. They ask him to become the president of a country. But Albert says no. He says he knows physics, not people. Even when offered the highest power, the genius chooses to remain a humble scientist. On April 18, 1955, Albert Einstein dies. He is 76 years old. But his story has one final strange chapter. After he dies, the doctor who examines his body does something shocking. Without permission, he takes Einstein's brain. He keeps it. He studies it for years, trying to understand what made this mind so special. Even in death, the world could not stop wondering about Albert Einstein. So what is the truth about this man? Albert Einstein did not help create the bomb because he was evil. He helped because he was human. He was afraid. He was trying to stop something even worse. He made a choice from fear, not from hate. And he carried the weight of that choice for the rest of his life. His real gift to the world was never the bomb. It was his curiosity. And his greatest lesson was not about physics at all. It was this: that being smart is not the same as being wise. That the most important question is not always, can we do this? But, should we do this? And you learning English right now, you are chasing a dream too. A dream to understand the world. A dream to become something more. Albert's story does not tell you to fear knowledge. It tells you to use it with a good heart. To build, not to destroy. Because you, like him, have the power to change.